Peter Doocy. He read this report from Kamala Harris. Here's what she told her staffers.
And we've now learned what Vice President Harris told her campaign staff on a call after they lost. I'm going to read a quote here. This is from the Vice President. Yeah, this sucks. We all just speak truth. Why don't we, right?
Okay. That was Kamala Harris. That was the Vice President of the United States, a woman who wanted to be the first female president of the United States. And when she was on the phone with her staffers after the loss, talking about what they were going to do next, her quote was, wait, what was it?
Yeah, this sucks. We all just speak truth. Why don't we, right?
Yeah, this sucks. We all just speak truth. Why don't we? Right? I mean, that belongs on a t-shirt. That should be, I know there's been some great American quotes. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. That kind of thing. I have not yet even begun to fight. Every single world leader, every single American leader, vice president, president has come up with an amazing quote. And now Kamala Harris has added to that history of great oratory with her quote to her staffers.
Yeah, this sucks. We all just speak truth. Why don't we, right?
That's what that's phenomenal. But here's again the whole point of this is that her staffers weren't happy with her because for years they were told by Kamala Harris, by Joe Biden, by other Democrats, they were told Donald Trump was the worst thing that could happen to the American democracy. Donald Trump was going to destroy the republic. Donald Trump must be stopped.
But also talked to some staffers who did not like that was the vice president's message after months of being told by their bosses that democracy was in danger if they lost. That, of course, changed after they lost, and we have tape to prove it.
He is a genuine threat to our democracy, and that's not hyperbole. That is God's truth.
Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy and our most fundamental freedoms.
He's a genuine danger to American security.
Our fundamental freedoms are on the ballot, and so is our democracy.
I mean, you can imagine hearing that over and over again. You can imagine hearing that for years. Donald Trump, a fundamental threat to democracy. Donald Trump is an existential threat to democracy. Donald Trump will destroy our democracy. First of all, it's a republic. Second of all, it's not true. But if you're ingrained, I mean, you want to talk about a radicalization machine. The White House, the media, the press, they have been a radicalization engine for young liberals for years now. And they have targeted Donald Trump. And every time Donald Trump opened his mouth or said something or did something or went somewhere, they would say he's going to destroy democracy. That was their go-to. And now that Donald Trump's president and democracy is still here, they got some splaining to do. And the problem is they can't explain it.
Yeah, this sucks. We all just speak truth. Why don't we, right?
Thank God she didn't. Thank God she never became. I knew it all. I mean, I knew there was no chance in HE double hockey sticks, but that just solidified. Oh, by the way, some Democrats, get this, because we talked a little bit about, what's Kamala Harris going to do now? What's next for Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris, she used to work at McDonald's. She was from a middle-class family. She was a prosecutor. These are all the things we learned repeatedly over and over again that Kamala Harris told us. What's she going to do now? She's not going to be vice president in 73 days. She'll no longer be vice president. She can't go back to the Senate. There's really no role for her in government. The best thing about this is that we've basically destroyed Kamala Harris's political career. So what's going to happen next? You won't believe what some Democrats want her to do next. You probably will. Let me play you this. This is an actual suggestion, again on CNN, from a Democrat as to Kamala Harris's next move.
Liberal. And so I hope that Joe Biden makes the next 10 weeks as consequential as he can. I don't care about drawing outside the lines of what Republicans may think about it. This is within your purview. You can actually do it, and you should do it. And, one more thing, John, is you have a hell of a vice president right there who has a legal pedigree to sit on the Supreme Court, and let Republicans go crazy and ape. I'm even mentioning that option.
Are you floating? This is 7:39 a.m. on the East Coast. Did Bakari Sellers just float Vice President Kamala Harris as a potential Supreme Court nominee?
Not only am I floating it, but I want to stir up everything. I want people's heads to explode this morning so we go into the weekend just knowing that the chaos has not ended just yet.
Okay, now this is not only ridiculous, but this is a guy looking to make his name with a soundbite. The fact of the matter, she has the legal pedigree to become a Supreme Court nominee. Does she, though? Does she really? What legal pedigree does she have to become a Supreme Court nominee? She's never been a judge before. She's never been a judge at the appellate level or the state level. She's never been she never sat on a federal bench. She was a prosecutor, or a prostituter, as Tim Walz would call her. She was a prosecutor that we know of. We know that she went after the cartels. We know she did that and the other. She was the vice president. What legal pedigree does she really have to be a Supreme Court justice? Also, there's no opening on the Supreme Court right now. And if there were, it would require Senate confirmation for Kamala Harris to become the next Supreme Court nominee. So I'm not really sure why he thinks Joe Biden. He literally said, he goes, Joe Biden should nominate her to the Supreme Court. You don't not just nominate people to the Supreme. It's a lifetime appointment. The way the Supreme Court works is we have 9 justices and they're appointed to life terms. And until they decide that they'd like to retire, like Stephen Breyer did and Sandra Day O'Connor, a lot of them retire. Some of them die on the bench. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died on the bench, and a lot of Democrats were really angry with her. Antonin Scalia died on the bench, and that was tragic. Donald Trump, however, we were able to replace him with another constitutional conservative. So these things happen. It's a lifetime appointment or until you decide to step down on your own. You can't just go in and nominate somebody. It would require somebody retiring like today. There's 74 days left. It would require somebody retiring today and then the Senate rushing through some kind of confirmation process and to put Kamala Harris on the bench. And the only person that would step down from the bench today would be a Democrat. And they're all, I feel like, not the oldest people. I mean, Ketanji Brown Jackson just got there. Sonia Sotomayor, I don't know how old she is. Elena Kagan, I don't know how old she is, but I feel like they've still got some years left in them. And I feel like even though they're radicalized judges who like to legislate from the bench, I feel like all of them have more of a legal pedigree than Kamala Harris. Maybe not Ketanji Brown Jackson, because we know the only reason she was chosen was because she was a black woman. Fun fact, also the only reason that Kamala Harris was chosen as VP. So maybe they have an equal pedigree. But this whole DE&I initiative is gone. It's gone the way of the dodo. Donald Trump will probably have another Supreme Court nominee in his next 4 years. As I said before, I imagine Clarence Thomas will look at this as a great opportunity to call it quits. Clarence Thomas has done a lot for this country. He's served as one of the best Supreme Court justices we've ever had. He's been a staunch constitutional conservative, an originalist, and he fought hard. And he went in there and he asked the tough questions. And man, he took a lot of poop from the left and the media. And people have been attacking him and his wife for years. And I would think that Clarence Thomas, now that he knows not only do we have a conservative back, but we have Donald Trump back. Not only do we have a conservative back, but we have a conservative Senate and a House of Representatives, and they can pick anyone from Donald Trump's list of Supreme Court justices. And we can get another Antonin Scalia, or we can get another Scalia. We can get another Samuel Alito. We could get another Gorsuch. We could get one of these people and put them on the bench, and they could be younger. And I imagine that Clarence Thomas probably sometime shortly after the inauguration will start to make plans for the next chapter in his life. Maybe not. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe he likes sitting on the bench. I imagine, though, he'd rather be in his brand new RV cruising around the country with his wife, stopping in at the Walmart, seeing the sights, and not having to take all of the slings and arrows that he gets from the media and the left. Donald Trump's going to have at least one more Supreme Court appointment in the next 4 years, I feel.